Hey guys, welcome to some more War Thunder. In this video I wanted to talk about what I think is, well, the flat out best dogfighter in the game. Not the best aircraft, but the best dogfighter. And that's the A6 M30. This plane's extremely agile, has a very tight turning circle, climbs really well, and not to mention maintains its momentum through these maneuvers extremely well. Now here I'm flying it in the historical event Battle of Midway, and I use this footage because I really think it shows both how amazingly well this plane is suited for dogfighting, but it also really highlights its major weakness, and that is its armament. Now the Zero was a pre-war design, and during the pre-war period as well as the early part of the Second World War, the Zero was arguably the best fighter in the world. They dominated the skies over China, the Philippines, and all over the South Pacific in the early parts of the war. The plane was extremely lightweight. Japanese pilots preferred performance over defensive armament, things like armor plating, self-sealing tanks. They believed that if they were nimble enough, they could avoid getting shot. Now with its lightweight and powerful engine, it was able to outclimb, outturn, and outperform any aircraft in the early parts of the war, particularly the heavier, less maneuverable, underpowered early American naval fighters such as the Wildcat. And also the P-40 as well. I mean, the P-40 was fast at low altitude, but couldn't outturn a Zero. And the Flying Tigers, when they were fighting in China, were really instructed, you know, do not turn fight with a Zero. Dive on him, get on his tail, shoot him, and get out of there. Now, if you've been watching the footage, you'll know that these P-40s aren't really heeding that warning. They saw me shooting their buddy initially, and they've come to help out. I think there's also a Buffalo on my tail as well. But from this point on, I'm pretty much engaging 3 fighters at once for the remainder of this dogfight. You can see on my wing's red, and I took, 2-3 bullets to it, and it's already red. Now it's not causing a ton of trouble, just a little bit of wobble when I try and pull the stick all the way back. Now as these enemies try and get on my tail, I'm just very easily able to turn inside of them and avoid their attacks. And here this Buffalo is going to pay the ultimate price. He spent so much time turning, he's extremely slow, and he has no hope of getting away from me. And once I critted him there, I just let him go. I've got too much else to worry about finishing off that plane. And he's probably going to end up crashing anyways. In fact, he does. Now as I get on the tail of this next P-40, you're really going to see why I think the armament is extremely weak. Now you've got the 2 .30 caliber machine guns that have a rather slow rate of fire, so when you do have an opportunity to get a burst into an aircraft, you don't get to put enough ammunition into them to really do a ton of damage. You really got to kind of pick the aircraft apart. And now in a situation like this, where I've got multiple enemies engaging me, I don't have the time to sit on an enemy's tail and pick them apart with 30 caliber machine guns. Now you do have 20mm cannons, but you only have 120 rounds, so I really only try and use them when I'm sure I have a really good shot, like here. Try and save as much ammo as possible. And 120 rounds is really only enough ammo to shoot down a couple planes if you're good, if you land those shots. But, with the perils of packet loss and server lag, a lot of times you'll see a good number of those shells bouncing off aircraft, and that can be pretty frustrating. Now flying any other aircraft, except for another model of Zero, or maybe even the KI-61s, I don't think I would have made it out of this dogfight. I got myself into a situation that in pretty much any other fighter means death. You're on an enemy's tail, you get lured back, you're slow, you're turning, and you get pounced on by 2, 3, 4 enemy fighters. That usually means that you're gonna die. But with this plane's maneuverability, I was able to fight off counter enemy attacks and shoot down a couple airplanes while I was at it. The only real way for a player to get away from a Zero is to enter a high-speed dive and use speed, get away, try and climb, get above, and get an advantage again. Because the Zero's really light construction frame means that it can't enter high-speed dives without the fear of breaking apart. Now again here you're going to see at this point I'm really low in ammo, and I'm trying to run for home to do the perilous carrier landing, but I've been intercepted by a couple more planes, and I'm gonna have to fight my way out of this situation. And again, the maneuverability of this aircraft is gonna save me in this engagement as well. But another thing is that it's actually gonna highlight again the weakness of the aircraft's armament. This Kittyhawk has gotten himself extremely slow, and I'm just gonna easily turn inside of him. I'm gonna pepper him with a few 30 caliber bullets, and then a few cannon shells as well. And still I'm not able to land any sort of critical hit. Even there, I dump the rest of my cannon shells with some more 30 cal, and still do not critically damage that aircraft. Now at this point I've got to let him go. I've got another plane on my tail, and if I sit there and try and rip him apart with those 30 cals, I'm just going to get myself shot down. So again, I mean, if I had perhaps faster firing machine guns or more cannon ammo, I would have been able to shoot him down. Or maybe even a different loadout altogether, just 450 cal machine guns. I think I would have been able to shoot him down. And although the armament's particularly not great in War Thunder, that's not the case in real life. I mean, 20mm cannons are going to do a ton of damage to an aircraft. And if you don't shoot him down, you're going to take him out of the fight. He's going to have to run for home for the fear of not being able to make it back home on damage alone. Now, obviously the combat in War Thunder differs because most pilots don't really care about getting home. They just want to get as many kills as they can before getting shot down themselves. So how well does this plane translate to arcade mode? Well, in my opinion, it's pretty much the same. You can out-turn and outmaneuver just about everyone, but the lack of cannon ammunition really is a big hindrance in arcade mode. You can typically only shoot down a plane, maybe two, before you're going to have to reload, and even with a fully upgraded reload, you still got to wait 15 seconds. Now, if you're in the middle of a swirling dogfight, that's 15 seconds of you trying to turn and not get shot down. But even so, I've managed to get myself into those situations in swirling masses of dogfights and shoot down 7, 8, 9 aircraft before I finally get shot down. So if you're not a fan of boom and zoom tactics and you're a pure dogfighter, really the Japanese aircraft are a good way to go. Now again, here you're going to see me. I'm just trying to shoot this guy down because I don't think I'm going to make it home at this point, and still not able to do enough damage to bring that guy down. Well, as always, I hope you enjoyed the video. Don't forget to leave a like and a comment below, subscribe for more content from my channel, and I will see you in the next video.